Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you all. I hope you're all doing well, and thank you for tuning in into day two of sustainable fashion at Lakmé Fashion Week's Digital First Season Fluid Edition. We were all just witness to Amit Wadhwa and Kaveri's showcase of the diverse beauty of fabrics. Joining us today are the talented designers themselves, Amit Wadhwa as well as Kaveri and her gorgeous muse, Sandeepa. Amit, Kaveri, Sandeepa, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you so
Good to
much.
have you all.
Thank you.
Amit and Kaveri, I'd first like to congratulate you both for a fabulous presentation and for being at Lakmé Fashion Week in an all-new avatar, for being back here. Amit, I'd like to start with you first. We'd want to know from you about your new collection, Reimagine. You know, it really paid homage to the age-old Indian fabric of freedom, right? Khadi. Tell us a little bit about the thought behind it, and yeah, we'd like to know more.
So we have always been inspired by the khadi, the only Indian fabric. It's the only hand spun and hand woven fabric, and we have always thought to introduce it in our celebration, in our festive wear. And somehow we thought that it is lacking that thing that we use khadi for all our things like a casual. It's the most comfortable fabric, and it actually works according to the season as well. When in winters it is hot, and in summers it is cold. So it is the perfect fabric for you to be comfortable in. And that's what we thought, that why can't we have that thing when we are celebrating, when we are actually having an occasion and having the best moments of our life. So that was the thought behind it, to reinventing that fabric in a way so that we should accept it for our celebrations. That was the thought behind the Reimagine. That's what is re is inventing, image is the identity, and accepting it in is the thought behind this collection. And yeah, that was the thing. And then we started with our weavers. We started with the weaving technique of the fabrics, that how what we can do, what we can include in the weaving process, that we can make it more acceptable for our celebrations. And I'm sure you must have all witnessed it now, that what we have done and showcased on Lakmé Fashion Week.
But Amit, also tell us a little bit about what really went into the making of this showcase.
So it all started in February this month, when we were all happy without this pandemic, and we were all enjoying our life as we were doing it. So we visited our weavers in February, where we started working on the fabric, that how we want to do the developments for this festive season. And we sat with them. We explored various weaving techniques, that what all we can incorporate in this season with the weaving techniques, where we can create something that is acceptable for the festive season in a same fabric that we have seen it for a very casual, very day wear garments, attire. So it started in February, and after that, as we all know, we went through a very tough time where we learned so much. But in those time also, our viewers were sitting at home, and they were actually creating these beautiful fabrics. They were actually working for us. They didn't stop for a day. They had their looms in their houses. They were day night. They were creating these beautiful fabrics for us. And I think that's what made us also to believe in this collection, to actually go through it and see it where we have brought it today. So it and later, when we see that, when we got to present this collection on this platform, which is Lakmé Fashion Week, and how we have created it, I think all thanks to our weavers who have made it possible in these tough times also.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Amit. Kaveri, coming to you, you know, we're so glad to have you here. Congratulations again for your first virtual showcase at Lakmé Fashion Week. Tell us a little bit about, watching your showcase Cocoon. It was, I would think, it's safe to say, it was like a fashionable symphony of contemporary design and drape. So we'd really like to hear from you about the collection and again, the thought behind it.
So, as I said, the collection is called Cocoon because, again, like you said, it started way back in February, and in March, when the lockdown happened, I think I went through a whole range of emotions, starting first from shock, disbelief, then just not knowing what to do. Suddenly everything is shut. We had like you had your weavers, my workers, my karigars, everybody was in a state of shock, and there was nothing I could do. We were all at home, and I generally I collect traditional and antique textiles. So I have the habit of always draping myself in fabric, and I'm always carrying an extra scarf or a shawl with me in my bag. So that's what I do at times when I don't know what to do. I have like specific, like I have one dupatta that I wear that I always use every time I sit in prayer and meditation. Then I have a couple of like other scarves that I use, that are my go-to, like my security blankets, literally. So I found myself wrapping myself in textiles, in my favorite dupattas, in my favorite scarves, and I was wrapping myself, and so that's how the whole thing happened. When I wrapped myself in the fabric, and we didn't know what to do. We had to stay in. We had to be indoors, and slowly, thoughts changed. Slowly, thoughts emerged. That's why you see a lot of like with the fabrics draping around you, and that's how the whole thing started. And again, it's a tribute to, like you have your tribute to khadi. Mine is the tribute to beautiful linen fabric, which drapes and falls, and I simply love. So that's what it is.
And Kaveri, tell us about choosing Sandeepa to be your muse and the garment that you designed for her for the collection.
So Sandeepa is like a role model to so many people, to this whole new generation. I love your dance videos. I'm a dancer myself, not like you, wow. But they're actually quite addictive. Once you watch them, I'm sure, has anybody noticed that? Like, I want to see, like, what's next, and also what is really interesting is the variety, the whole range of the kind of dances that you do. But anyway, she's always come across to me. It's very positive, very vibrant, and also very, very special and unique in her own way. So she is her own person. She's not someone who just follows the herd, right, Sandeepa?
Absolutely.
You don't follow that. Yeah, you don't follow the herd. She makes her own rules. She is her own person, and she's lovely. So yeah.
Right.
And actually, and as regarding the outfit, it was a toss-up between giving her the color that she's wearing now or the darker color, but I had both of them ready for you. But then we gave you the darker one to finish off with. And yeah. But did that outfit make you want to? Did that outfit make you want to dance and twirl?
Absolutely, and I did so much of that while I was walking. I don't know if you've seen it, but I don't know how much of it I haven't watched the show myself. But I did twirl a lot in it.
I know. But I wish there was more of it, because that's my whole thing.
I have private videos which I'll share with you.
Oh, great. Please do. Because I would like my clothes to make women want to dance through the day, to dance through life, to twirl and dance through life.
How lovely.
I think, Sandeepa, it would be safe to say that there would be a lot more people more than Kaveri who'd want to see that video of you twirling and dancing and celebrating, the beauty of the garment that Cocoon is really. Sandeepa, you looked gorgeous on the virtual hub as we all saw the film. You look gorgeous right now. Firstly, thank you for joining us. And before I get into, wanting to know how it was walking for Kaveri, tell us a little bit about what was, coming back for Kaveri as a virtual showstopper this time.
Walking for her debut. It's my debut at Lakmé Fashion Week, and what a debut to have at the digital one. So for me, it was a very different experience from everything that I'd seen up till now. But I'm in a way glad that this kind of happened, because now this has opened doors for a lot more people to watch the show. Earlier, only a set number of people would watch the show, but now a whole lot of other people around the world, anywhere, you can watch the show. And I think that's great, because now fashion is reaching every pocket of the world that there is. And I think that's the best thing that could have happened. Of course, it would be nice to not happen in a pandemic kind of a situation. That would have been an ideal world, but we don't live in an ideal world, so we just do the best that we can. So it was a good experience. I think it was we also were, everybody was a little scared, because we were also stepping out of the house after 5 months of being in the house constantly, while we were shooting for the virtual show. But I think Lakmé did such a fab job with the whole organizing, the way they organized it, the testing and all of that. So I felt quite safe, and it was a very interesting experience. And I twirled a lot. I think Kaveri's clothes makes you want to dance more. I'm already a dancer, and her clothes made me want to dance even more. So I did a lot of twirling and dancing while I was in her clothes.
Yeah. And it was lovely. And I really want to see more of those videos.
I shall send them to you.
Yeah.
Probably.
Right. My next question to Sandeepa was actually going to be about what really stood out for her in Kaveri's collection, but I think the fact that it brought out her wanting to dance and be in her element, I think that answers that more beautifully than it actually could. So I'm glad.
What's also really, really interesting is that that her clothes in a way represent my personality, because they're very flirty, they're fun, and they're light, and they flow. So I'm pretty much like that. And the color, of course, I think the best thing was the fact that she gave me a vibrant color, because I think I am like that. I am a little peppy and stuff like that. So, of course, I love what I'm wearing as well. But I think everything about that outfit was just so bang on in tangent with the kind of personality that I have. And I think that was a perfect mix.
Yay!
Thank you. All right, guys. I'm now going to open the floor to questions. I request all the attendees to please submit your questions in the Q&A box below, and we'll take it from there.
No questions? Either everybody's just so taken aback, Amit, by yours and my collection. I have nothing there. We've just left them speechless. Okay? Or either we've left them completely speechless, or they have actually nothing to say.
Right.
But I think there's one here that's come in. All right. Before, I think the one question that we had even received earlier, that was for both Amit and Kaveri, was that creating these collections during the pandemic, what were the different layers of maybe challenges that you came across or that you had to battle? Amit, do you want to go first?
There were a lot of challenges. The one is the major challenge was the timeline. As you all know that earlier, this used to happen way earlier, that now we have done it in October, and that earlier it was used to happen in August. And the worst thing was the timeline, that when we are going to showcase it, and after that, how is it going to be received by the people, and how are we going to generate the business out of it. That was the most important thing. And then it started okay, so when we the first sample of the fabric which my weaver sent to me, when I saw that, actually that was the most happiest moment for this collection for me, because when I saw it, I got to know that okay, this is something that we have to take on forward, and then we have to create something beautiful out of it. And what they have done in that pandemic, while sitting at home creating these beautiful fabrics for us, I can't let it go waste. So whatever we actually we have gone through the difficult times, the situations, the whatever the things we have gone through while doing this, I think the most important thing that made us go through it and achieve this much is the team behind it, is the people behind it that have worked day and night for us. And I really want to thank them through you guys that they have made it possible for us. It was a dream to create something like that, and then without them, it was not possible.
Before we go to Kaveri, there's another question for you, Amit. What is your strength when it comes to design? What do you
I keep okay. So initially, when we started our brand, our most important part, the USP of our brand was hand texturing over a fabric or while creating a fabric. We create textures in the fabric. I try to create something which is very minimalist, and it actually makes you stand out also. So what you are wearing is you are comfortable in, but still you know that everyone is looking at you and you are actually standing out of the crowd. That's one of our USP of our brand. That's one of our strength actually.
right? Kaveri, if you could maybe elaborate on your strength of designing, and if there were any conscious practices that were applied during the lockdown through the design process.
Not particular. I mean, not like specifically during the lockdown. Well, actually, I just had a lot more time. You know, when we were first again, it was now it's all coming back. It's really strange because recently I heard a song and I realized that I started listening to that song during the lockdown, and it brought back at that time I was it was different. We went through a whole bunch of emotions, as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, as someone who is supporting many families. It was a very difficult, hard time, because you had so many people dependent on you. So a lot of those emotions came into my thoughts, and I was with my thoughts a lot, as with everybody else was at that time. And so it was slightly different in terms of the design process this time, because there was a lot more emotion that went into it. So like I said, my core collection is called Cocoon, which is again the draping of the fabrics, and I had this other scarf that kind of draped around it. So that was the original, the core design pieces of this collection. So in terms of the process, it just felt very different, but it all came tumbling out literally in a matter of minutes, which it built up to that final moment. And when I sketched everything on the paper, I kind of knew what I wanted to do. So it came out really suddenly, but it took a long time to get there. Like I said, again, it's also came along with a lot of emotion and thought with it. And but it's been great. And really what you said, I have to say hats off to the Lakmé team, because obviously it wouldn't have been easy. And coordinating, the show, filming it, and then putting it all together, and the backdrop, and I mean, it was something else. And really hats off. And the number of times I have called people saying, "What's going on? I don't know how to do this. What do I do?" It's been fun and a new experience. Yep.
Thanks, Kaveri. I have one last question, both for you and Amit. What does sustainability mean to the both of you? Do you want to go first? Okay, Amit, would you like to go first?
Anything, whatever.
Amit,
Yeah.
go for it.
See, okay, right. So sustainability, see, I'll tell you one thing very clearly, that sustainability, everyone is following it. There, people are trying to do conscious clothing. People are trying to do something for the environment. But I've never thought of it like that. When I started this brand, I always thought that I want to do something different, which actually matters. Even if you're not buying my garment, what I'm doing, it actually matters to your life, in a way what we are doing. So that was the thought behind starting this brand. So I haven't thought of it like that, sustainability, in a way that we are doing very sustainable products, and the way we are doing it. But the thought was to create something which actually which actually doesn't harm our environment, which actually gives someone some benefit. Like in a way, we work with our weavers, like the team we are working with, the work we are generating through our brand, and how many people we are supporting in a way. And we try to do, actually we thought of creating something that actually when someone actually accepts it, buys it, they understand that what the whole team has gone through, the efforts they have put it in, the time that has been consumed while creating it. It's not like that we are creating in bulk. We actually take a lot of hours to create one particular garment. And sometimes like I told you, that we started this collection in February, and the first sample we got was in August end. So that was like the whole time it took just to create the fabric, and the next step was to create a garment out of it. So the thought is always to create something beautiful, which is actually beneficial to the people who are buying it or not buying it, the environment, and in a way, we try to do something useful for our surroundings. That was the thought behind this brand, behind every collection we create, behind every possible thing we try to do with this.
Kaveri, would you like to add on to that? What was your take?
Yeah. Uh, Sustainability, right? So, like Amit said, I did not start this out by saying, oh, I want to be a sustainable brand. It's just that for me, I work with linen, and for a very simple reason, I love linen fabric. And then, just being the kind of person we are, we try to be a little bit more environmentally responsible. We're not 100% there. I don't go around saying that my brand is sustainable, because I know there are a lot of criteria that we need to fulfill so that we can actually say that we truly are a sustainable brand. But we have put certain practices in place. For example, we've not 100% cut out the use of plastic, because sometimes we just have to. But we're definitely making an effort to use less of it. So our packaging is also, we're switched to bioplastic. We've got cloth bags. Then for us, sustainability is also not just what we practice here, but the vendors we work with. So my fabric supplier, so one of our main vendors is a fabric supplier. So we've made sure that the vendors that we buy our fabrics from, they also are responsible. For example, simple things like, after the fabric is treated, the water is also treated so that it is safe to let out into the ground. So these are little steps which cost a little bit more, but I work with vendors also who are a little bit more responsible. Then for me, sustainability is also social sustainability, which is that sustainability, sustenance of my team. So that's very, very, very important to me. So in all, there are a lot of little things that I think if we all make an effort, we can do it. And of course, linen is very happy and sustainable and environmentally friendly fabric.
Thank you. Thank you, Kaveri. I'd like to thank you all, Kaveri, Amit, Sandeepa. Thank you for joining us. And everybody in the attendee section as well. Thank you for joining us on day 2 of Sustainable Fashion. For more information on Amit and Kaveri's showcase, please don't forget to visit the gallery section at the LFW Virtual Hub. We'll see you here again soon. Until then, thank you. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Nice chatting with you all.